What's up, guys? Welcome back to TheLastWord Music. And today, we will be reviewing Lil Uzi's newest project, Eternal Atake. As you can see, we have a guest here.
What's good? Hopefully a permanent member.
Hopefully a permanent member
Hey,
of TheLastWord Music, Dimitri Toronjo. Welcome.
it's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you, my friend.
Thank you,
It's
Chuck.
a pleasure to have you. Okay. Now, Scotty, would you like to remind our viewers of our rubric?
Yeah, sure. So we kind of redesigned the rubric a little bit, just to focus on hip-hop albums. So our main keys are lyricism, which we valued at 20 points. We said album narrative and sequence, how cohesive is it? Does it tell a story? We valued that at 20 points as well. Then we said flow is worth 10 points, which is, for us means kind of like following the beat with your voice, staying in rhythm. And then we put wordplay and rhymes worth 10 points. We put artist voice and delivery, like how they actually like croon and sing, 10 points. Features, we also put 10 points, but obviously it's flexible. Like if an album has no features, but it doesn't hurt it at all, we can just scrap that, which we did for like our Unlocked album. And then production we have worth 10 points, and then memorability worth 10 points, and that's kind of like how we think the album will be looked back on. Is it re-listenable? Will you go back to it? And then, we also kind of talk about some of our favorite tracks, least favorite tracks, and then give our overall grade out of 100.
All right, so first category is lyricism. And, it's a Lil Uzi Vert project. You don't expect too much lyricism, but, wow.
This was bad.
It was just bad, guys.
Yeah.
There was just...
I mean, let's just kind of start with
so Scotty's on Genius right now. He's gonna look up some lyrics for us right now.
On
Hey,
the
don't
song,
don't expect too much.
the song Lo Mein, titled after the Chinese cuisine.
Overhyped. Overhyped.
Delicious though.
Yeah. It's a little profane. But
What are you talking about? An Uzi album, profane?
they was hating, I was spending, you was saving. Man, I'm counting up green like a pea pod, Maine.
Yes, sir.
I was holding
yes,
down
sir.
my team like my name was Peyton. Had to make sure my brother good, Eli Manning.
That's a bar. That's a bar.
But
Bro, how much
yeah.
lean do you think he was sipping during that recording
You know?
session, bro? He was probably half awake in the booth and he was spitting that, bro. For real, for real.
I mean, the thing with Uzi, my overall thoughts on the album is, a bunch of people are kind of hyping it up, and it's cool to have another project from him out after, kind of 3 years, and that
Especially
whole
after he teased it
debacle,
as much as he did.
Yeah, with the label where he couldn't really release it. But I'm not a really big fan of Lil Uzi Vert, and so I'm a more casual listener. So for me, just overall, this album wasn't that great because like we kind of talked about, the lyricism was a little weak, and it was long. It was 18 songs, an hour and 2 minutes. And, a lot of the songs had kind of similar flows, similar styles for me.
Definitely.
It was very repetitive. I feel like he could have used some features. He only has one feature on the whole album on the song.
We'll get to that.
Urgency.
Yeah,
with
we'll
Sid.
talk about that
We'll
later.
talk about that. Yeah. I mean, for me, I gave lyricism a 4 out of 20. The only reason I gave it, any points at all is because I was listening to this, it's because I was listening to this in class, and there were a few bars that just, caught me off guard, and I just kind of, burst out laughing.
Yeah.
And so, I appreciate when a song or, an album can do that, because I gave points to Eminem for doing that in those kind of nights, and my music to be murdered by reaction.
Speak
So.
for yourself, dog.
Dude,
That
before
would
you
be
get
only
started
you,
here,
dog.
I found another classic lyric
Oh,
from
please,
my
go
man
for
Uzi.
it, go for it.
Oh, no.
Chop with a 50, my Uzi Israeli. See, I turn to the boss, can't deal with no middleman. Anthony Davis, don't deal with the
Pelicans. Hey!
No, wait.
I remember that bar.
Straight out the mud, we got that work that turned you to the grudge. Leave you slime like a snail. You get hit with
The
these
slugs. Hey! That's a bar.
I'm high like a bird, man, but don't got no lugs.
Hey, okay. For me, I gave lyricism a 5 out of 20 because he does have some bars on there that are pretty funny, and
Probably unintentionally, but
Yeah.
but still funny.
he has a couple where it's actually I thought it was actually decent wordplay a couple times. He has some lines about Hannibal Lecter, and it ties back to Silence of the Lambs, which is actually pretty decent. And then he had a few set of bars where it was he was playing off Takeoff and then Rocket, just off of the Migos album, or the Takeoff album that I thought was actually pretty okay considering it was Uzi. So yeah, but definitely not his strong suit. I will say.
No.
No, I will
Not
not.
at all.
I will.
And
you can't accuse.
speaking
Uzi
of
being
things
a
that
lyricist.
Uzi's not too strong in, that leads us to our next point: album narrative and sequence.
I actually didn't. I was looking at y'all's. I actually didn't like bash him as much as you guys did for this, just because like, I actually think like the sequence of the songs was a lot better than I expected. Honestly, felt like all of the songs kind of fit together in my opinion. Like they all kind of belonged in that order. They were they kind of transitioned seamlessly.
You know, there weren't too many like mood switches between the songs, so yeah,
that was kind of my thing for sequence. The narrative, the whole thing with like the aliens and everything.
I thought that was kind of weak.
I thought it was weak, but it's an Uzi album, so I had to give him props
for Uzi. For Uzi, it was pretty okay. It was pretty okay.
So I gave him an 11 for album narrative.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. Yeah, it's not egregious or anything.
I mean, I know y'all gave him like.
I gave him like a 6.
I gave him a 6 too.
For me, all the songs just kind of like merged into one because it was almost like too consistent. Where it was just like the same style of song over and over. And like his songs are solid, but like we talked about, there's not a ton of profundity to them. And so, you know, it just kind of focuses on like fun songs, you know, with some funny lyrics and, you know, some happy beats. Yeah. And like, you know, they're solid, but it just kind of gets a little boring for me after a while without any of the features. And so for me, the narrative was too, like I would have liked him to switch it up at certain points.
I think if this was cut down to like an 11 or 12 track album,
it
would be way
songs.
more enjoyable. Really It'd be way more enjoyable. And then he's releasing a deluxe with like a few more songs. It's like, bro, you don't need more songs.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens when you spend 3 years though.
Yeah.
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5.
2.5. Yeah. Okay. Next point we got is flow. Uzi's got a nice. He's got
Uzi can flow. Uzi can flow.
Uzi can flow. I gave him like a 6 out of 10.
I gave him a 7.
Don't lie. I give him a 5.
Uzi
can flow. But what it was for me was it wasn't like the quality of his flows. He just had a lot of flows that were really similar.
It's
on
the
it.
same flow.
And they were all good. They were all clean, but it was like all the same. So I wasn't messing with it once it got down to like, you know, track like 16. I was like, okay.
Yeah, for me it was like track 5.
Track 16 was like P2, which was his only different flow because it was XO2.
I probably
that was like
it was XO2 or Life Part 2.
I'd say I'm probably the biggest Uzi fan out of us three. And I'm gonna I would say that none of these hold up to tracks like his better ones like 20 Minutes or P's and Q's or Dark Queen.
I kind of like Neon Guts. I know it's kind of wacky.
No, Neon Guts is good too. Those are all like top tier.
You know.
Do What I Want?
Like, they're just kind of fun songs.
Nah, Do What I Want is kind of ass, bro. Not gonna cap. but you know what I mean, bro.
I love that.
Just so y'all know, if Chuck says something is good, Dimitri's gonna say it's terrible. It's garbage.
You'll see that in later videos, man.
Yeah, it's not my fault, bro.
So moving on,
right? We got a banger coming out.
We got wordplay and rhymes.
Wordplay.
Bars. Only bars.
7 out of 10.
Can we go to Baby Pluto with the sticky licky flow?
All right. Yeah, why not?
That was only bars.
The wordplay was so funny.
I gave him a 5 out of 10.
I gave him a 7 because that was so funny.
Yeah,
and I love that.
It was funny. It got a little old for me. I gave him a 3 out of 10. He says,
3.
Man, we spray his car, spray his window, icky. She keeps sucking on my dick, trying to get a hickey. Girl, I swear that pussy too wet, sticky.
Hey.
I kicked her right out the front door. I'm picky. Yeah, and every time she go to call my phone, I'm busy. It's just what?
Bars,
what
only
doing?
Bars.
Nah,
but for real, that was really bad.
It was horrible. But it made me laugh, man. It was just entertaining.
I gave it a 3. I can see like a 6 or a 7, you know, but for me, I'm not a huge Lil Uzi fan.
Uzi was probably like in the booth, like re-listening to that verse, and he's like, "God damn, this makes no sense, bro." Like,
but he's too like faded off the lean. He's just
he didn't.
You know what?
He was like, "Hey, it
drop
bobs.
it,
bobs.
Drop it." All right, we got next artist voice and delivery.
I can tell this is gonna be Scott's probably one of his least favorite.
Well, what did y'all give him?
I gave him a 7.
I gave him another 5. I gave him
a 6. Yeah, I didn't think it was.
Wow, really? Okay.
You know, I thought his voice was pretty
that.
solid, like in tune. You know, on most of the tracks. I know he has some
hard not to
be.
Auto-tune help.
Auto-tune sound pretty good.
You know, I didn't think that his voice. The only critique I had of his voice was just without any features, it got boring after a while. But, for the most part, it stayed with, the fun vibe of most of the songs.
Sounded good over the production.
I'm a little more accustomed to listening to a lot of Uzi in one sitting, so it didn't get really old for me. But I thought the best songs on the album were the bonus ones, like That Way and Futsal Shuffle, just because it was something different. I know not everyone will agree in this podcast on that, but I thought it had. I thought those had more personality.
Dimitri and Charlie.
Those had more personality than a lot of it.
I'll give you Futsal Shuffle though. I'll give you Futsal.
Yeah, that's a vibe.
Yeah, I thought it was solid. It wasn't great.
Yeah, it was.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
I swear my money is serious.
Okay, I'm gonna text her to be clear. Hey, she's like my.
She get delirious.
Okay, so on to
features
or the lack thereof.
The lack thereof. So
this is the weakest.
2 out of 10.
This is 2, man. I gave it a 2. I gave it a 2. Boys.
So just to be clear, on the Unlocked album by Denzel Curry and Kenny Beats, since they had no features, but it was only 7 tracks, 18 minutes, and I thought it was good without features. It didn't need features because
Denzel Curry can carry.
Right. I just subtracted that. I gave him a score out of 90. But in this case,
Uzi can't carry, man.
I think the lack of features hurts the album. Because it's 18 songs, man. So I gave it a 2 out of 10.
He can't carry...
He
can carry a few songs, but he can't carry
Sid's
an
little
entire
portion on Urgency, I thought it was solid.
It was okay. I mean, it was fine.
It wasn't exceptional. And the rest of it was just repetitive for me.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're really into Lil Uzi Vert, you'll probably like it a lot more.
Yeah.
But
I actually like the sample he used from way back off of that one Travis song. I thought that was a fire sample, but I could have used a little more of that in the whole album.
Yeah,
because it was boring.
Yeah, okay, we got production next.
Yes, sir.
One thing I want to say about production, man, the way they used the auto tune with Lil Uzi, it kind of tripped me up a little bit.
Really?
Because there were a few times where I was listening and Uzi had his high flow going, and all of a sudden he dropped down, and I swear to God, dude, I thought he was Don Toliver.
I literally did not see that comparison at all, but
I swear to God, bro, there were some times where I was just listening, bro. I was like, is that Don Toliver? I thought there were no features on this album.
I'm keeping it a buck, guys. It does not sound like Don Toliver. they don't listen to any Don Toliver, I'm pretty sure, but
that's just not true, man.
I feel like
Don Toliver features on Music to Be Murdered By.
I gave the production actually
true. No regrets.
8 out of 10 because I thought for the most part he brought
I gave
in
it
a
a
pretty
7.
good group.
I gave it a
solid.
7. Yeah.
I thought my one kind of critique was that sometimes it was a little too heavy. Kind of
maybe
too many things going on at once, and Lil Uzi kind of sounded like and I was like, man, I'm kind of glad that I can't hear your lyrics, but
and none of the beats are bad either.
Yeah,
so it's
they're all none of them really stood out to me that much, other than maybe way back. But yeah, I gave it an 8 out of 10 because, like you said,
that dropped it a good 2 points for me.
Bro, I might smack you, bro.
It was not a good song, bro.
We may post a heavyweight boxing match.
I love you, channel. But I'm gonna have to swing, bro.
We're gonna have to do an IRL Last Word Sports channel at some point, bro.
Bro, we need to. Hey, shout out Nick D. Ray.
Shout out Nick and Mac, man. Fight coming in June.
We'll put it on the sports channel.
Hey, Nick's my baby daddy.
We'll make it a pay-per-view type of thing.
You gotta have YouTube Plus, man. Alright, so memorability.
Do you know how to speak, bro?
No, I don't know why. I don't know, guys. I need an energy drink, guys.
How about you go get a bang, buddy?
We're getting there.
We can talk shit
We're not
about Eminem
sponsored
for
by
the rest
Bang.
of the podcast, bro. Okay. Memorability. I think it'll be remembered for a long time just because of the hype that's around it and the situation.
That's what I gave it. I gave it a 5 because of that.
I think
it'll be remembered for a really long time. Hype 5.
Yeah. No,
that's it, bro.
But
I give it a 4.
I give it a 5 just because it's not going to be remembered for its content very much.
Yeah, the content for me was just kind of bland and repetitive. There just wasn't too much substance.
I think it's a step above that. And
I definitely won't go back and re-listen to the entire album.
If you listen to a lot of trap music along the lines of Lil Uzi, Playboy Cardi, I don't know, A Boogie, even though he's a little different, but
you'll be into it.
You're gonna mess with
Jack Huncho.
Nah, we don't talk about that.
Anyways, did y'all have any favorite tracks, least favorite tracks? That
I
you wanted
did,
to bring
man.
Up?
I did indeed.
Bro, Celebration Station was actually my favorite. It was a tie between Celebration Station and Priceless.
And Lo Mein.
You're off the
Not Lo
podcast.
Mein.
You're off the podcast.
You didn't like Celebration Station?
Huh?
Did you not like Celebration Station?
No, I did not.
Really?
I think best tracks probably gonna be Homecoming, P2, Futsal Shuffle. That way.
Oh well, Futsal Shuffle is a given. Man.
I thought I'm
It was
Sorry
a
was
bonus
okay.
track.
I'm
Sorry was good. It wasn't my
pretty
vibe,
good.
but I liked it.
Chrome Heart Tags is okay.
Yeah, that's the one that.
And the
was
one
okay
song
for me.
with the feature with Sid is
With Sid.
is one of the better songs on the album. So
Urgency
Uzi,
was-
take a hint, bro. Put some more features on your album, bro. Like please.
Yeah,
But I love you though, Uzi.
I'm not gonna cap here. When I was listening to it, there was not a single song that stood out to me where I was like,
Yeah.
that's a favorite track for me. Not a single one that I wanted to add to my playlist. But
Damn.
at the same time, I didn't put a single track in like least favorite tracks. There wasn't
Yeah.
anything where it was like it was atrocious.
It was
they
just
were
kinda
all for me just kind of meh. And if you really like Lil Uzi, you know, you'll probably add some of his songs. You'll like it a lot more. But for me, as a more casual listener, there just wasn't anything that stood out a ton. You know, Futsal Shuffle's kind of catchy. What was the one you said? Chrome Heart Tags and Urgency. Those were solid. You know, I kind of like Sid's part. But yeah, nothing that was like crazy for me and it stood out.
All right, boys. Overall scores.
40 out of 100.
40 for me as well.
Little low.
I gave it a 50. I probably was a little bit nicer than I should have been, but
I mean, I don't know. People are liking this album. I feel
know.
like we're kind of being harsh, but we
like,
keep it in
We're,
a
we're on that
buck.
Anthony Fantano vibe.
We gotta wear some.
Shout out
flannels
Anthony
then, dude.
Fantano. Come on the podcast.
Yeah, because you're
Come on the
definitely
podcast.
watching this.
Anthony Fantano, come on the podcast, bro.
Anthony Fantano is one of our 7 subscribers.
Hey, hold on. As of now, we have 12.
Oh, never
Let's
mind,
go.
boys. That's
Big
twice as
ups.
many.
Big ups.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't have 12. I'm not an official
Exactly.
member, but
You can be. We'll
You
call
can
you.
be.
This is your coronation.
This is
Okay.
yes.
Well, actually, your coronation is your debate.
Hey.
There's a debate coming. We're gonna talk about whether
I'm gonna-
Revival by Eminem was a good album.
am I allowed to swear on
Charlie
this?
versus
Yeah.
Dimitri.
I'm gonna fucking shit on Charlie bro, in this debate, bro.
Just get ready, boys. Get ready. Anyways, I think that's all we got
That's
for
all we
Eternal
got,
Atake
man.
by Lil Uzi, right?
Yep.
So
That's all we
So
got.
in conclusion, 9 out of 10.